The next step is adjusting the color and the tone of your image. So once it's cropped and straightened, let's go and adjust using the curves and the levels adjustment layer to remove some of the cast. There is a little bit of the color cast because of the aged photograph and it was scanned in. It doesn't look quite right. Now, levels and curves are a good one, and they can be a little more complex, but don't be intimidated. They are something you can definitely do. So let's go into our options or adjustments panel, I should say in the bottom corner. It looks like the yin-yang sign. I click and pull it up, and there are many different options. You can give you the non-destructive way to do it using an adjustment layer. The same tools are available under image and adjustments. You have the same tool options in here, but these now are permanently damage that layer. We want to have an adjustment layer. The beauty of Photoshop is the ability to control edits even after they're made, days or weeks or months or years later. I click the yin-yang, and now in my adjustment layer I have my curves or my levels. The book starts off using the curves tool. We're going to go ahead and use the adjustment layer with the curves. It pops my menu up here in my properties panel. And what I want to do here is now select my different types of eyedroppers. There's one for the shadow, the midtone, and the highlights. I'm going to click the highlights adjustment, and what this will do when I click on somewhere on the picture, it's going to take wherever I click and it's going to adjust that to make that portion white. It's going to take out the color cast and make that a pure white on my particular area. Now if I choose something that's dark, something like this boy's shirt, and I click it, it's in a way overexposed because it's trying to make that bright part or that dark part much brighter in the picture. It's not really what I wanted to do, so I'm going to go ahead and undo that. But what I want to do is now select something that's white, a white shirt, a white dress, and we have a couple different options to choose from here on the particular book. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in nice and tight to this girl's shoulder, and I'm going to go ahead and take a sample of the white stripe on her dress by clicking something like that, and it now has adjusted the colors. It's taken away some of the cast. It has also made some of the color tones gone, but it also has made the image a little bit brighter. Now as you look at the curves tool, we do see it's adjusted some of the blue and the reds and greens at different levels because we see three separate lines. If you look closely at the screen here, it has adjusted things, so it has gotten brighter. We can see that in the screen. So my white point is hit on a white section to select and to override that color issue. Typically get the best use if you click on a neutral white image. Now if you're clicking something that maybe is an off-white or a teal or a beige, it might not turn out quite as well. Now we'll use an levels adjustment layer to refine the tonal range of the image. I'm going to go up to my adjustments and choose levels. It pops up a different menu. The levels tool looks a little bit different than the curves. And now it wants me to adjust some of the different settings here. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to 15 on the shadow, the dark section. As you can see, as I go too much, it does get much, much darker. The highlights I can go much, much brighter with. And now I'll adjust my overall exposure. Now, I need to tone down the contrast, make it a little darker. I'm going to go to 15 on the darks. And on this midtone slider, it's not going to expose the brights or the darks, but I can change the contrast a little bit without washing things out or getting things too dark. So that's an important slider here. I'm going to go ahead and, according to the book, type in 0.9, so it's going to get a little bit darker, a little more contrasty in the dark sections, and to make it just a little more higher contrast image. The darks are darker, and it does have not that washout image, which is pretty typical of older scanned files. And that looks much better. Turning that on gives a little darker contrast. Now the book talks about you can go ahead and flatten these layers. I typically would probably just leave all these intact, but the book has you flatten all the layers so you can actually merge them together. This makes it easier, so now you're dealing with one layer instead of multiple layers. Select all the layers. I hold Shift and then click the background layer with the levels being the first one selected. I can right click on here and go to flatten the image. Now all those adjustments are permanently done on this particular file. I have the file saved as a different name, so it's okay. But now all those adjustments that I've made are now into the file. That cannot be undone once I save the file and come back later once it's closed. I do have the history panel. We talk about this in chapter 1. You can watch that video for other options on the history panel and many other helpful tips. But I do have different layers and curves that I can go back on and see as long as I have it open for this particular save. As soon as the file is closed, I do lose the history panel options once I open it back up another time. Thanks for joining me on Better Picks in just a few clicks. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I look forward to answering them and seeing your discussion as we go forward. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.